Good morning, guys. Episode 1624, rate rises, impacts on the market. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, Mr. Novak. How are we this
Hi, how
morning?
are you?
Good.
I've got a slightly deeper voice this morning. I think I like it.
I like it too, hey? Very nice, very nice. So the aftermath of, I think on a lot of people's mind is the recent rate increase, 0.25 back up to 4.1. There's been a lot of chat in the office, and it seems that there's a lot of chat amongst the buyers and sellers with where we're at the current market.
Well, I didn't want to talk about it this morning because, it's so cliche, but it's like, how can you not talk about it? It's just everywhere in everyone's mind at the moment. And I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's probably sensationalized more than it has to be.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the doom and gloom. You're on your Instagram, you're on your news.com. It seems to be everywhere. So it's quite in your face. So I get why people do start to get concerned, because everywhere you look, it's your interest rates are up. You're spending more money. Inflation. It's there's there's no silver lining that they tend to include, and when they push all these rises through the media.
No, well, for the high level numbers, it's 14 rate rises. It's 3 rate reductions, and then it's 2 rate rises now. So it's been a heavy couple of years for people. But I guess if they hadn't put it up, we're still quite status quo, which is coming off those 14 rate rises. Yeah, so I don't think it's that violent. We've sort of been there before, but people are certainly. They say people are hurting, but then I see all people spending with inflation, and it's like I really don't get it. I really don't get it. The restaurants are full. I see people actively making purchases, so it just seems like it's just such huge headline news, but the reality or that sort of that cut through is of it hurting the market isn't quite there.
Yeah, I'd have to say, like, looking at it globally, I really think that Australia or the government missed its window to really address inflation. Prior last year, towards the end of last year, we actually saw really transactions, new mortgages was a major pressure on inflationary data. So there was definitely lots of transactions happening, and that was a big contribution. So what we saw is rest of the global economy, they seem to get a hold on their headline inflation, whereas we came out of Christmas above target. Generally, Christmas, you're going to have an artificial supply of inflation there with all your extra spending. You've got, obviously Christmas presents, holidays, people are off, they're going out for lunches when they'd be at work. So we've come out of Christmas above that headline. And then unfortunately, we've seen what's happening in the Middle East. And surprisingly, Australia exports all its gases and it imports it all for its own use and its population. So what we see there, us being an island as well, is a lot of our imported fuels, those sorts of things that generally come from that Asia Pacific, from the Middle East. Obviously, that's all getting affected with what's happening at the moment with Iran, because those shipments are a lot less frequent, if at all. And what we're actually seeing is a lot of countries that supplied us, being China, those fuels originally, they're now actually keeping those and not exporting for strategic purposes. So really seeing that add a fuel to the fire in terms of inflation, and probably more so a reason as to why they did increase rates yesterday. So yeah, I believe it's definitely inflation being a big factor in where we are in this interest rate cycle. So an interesting landscape, and it'll be interesting to see where it all heads for the rest of 2026.
Can it be the case where people get so caught up in the bullshit that they actually lose the whole game? So, you know, it's like calling the weather. You could literally call the weather every hour and you could talk about the weather all day long and you do jack shit. So it's like, who cares? You know, there's wars, there's recessions, there's GFCs, there's GFC ones, there's all this stuff that's happened in the world. And I think, you know, people have just got to get on getting on. You know, it's survival, right? Because at the end of the day, complaining's not gonna help you with survival. You know, complaining to the politicians is not gonna help you rate. I think, you know, I just reckon people got to, you know, we've all just got to focus on that sort of 1 inch that's in front of us and just get, you know, if you look at that rate that we've got and you look at it over an average of 20 years, it's not bad. Whether it's gone up or it's gone down, who cares? It's actually not a bad rate. And it's not a bad country and it's not a bad economy. And then people can just get caught up in the news, you know, the interest rates, what they're doing, and petrol price, and it's like, you know what, just get on, just get on with it.
Yeah, especially when, like, look, you know, obviously food, those things are expensive. Everyday living's been a little bit, you know, tougher than it would have been 10 years ago. But when you look at the changes, you look in the interest rates, you're looking about an average change of about $120 per month on an average mortgage. So, you know, although the change is there, you wouldn't suspect that, you know, $120 a month, you're looking at $30 a week in that change of purchasing power, or, you know, in terms of people's surplus income. It's about $30 a week. And then when you look at it as a borrowing capacity, way you're looking at roughly around anywhere between sort of 2.5%, some banks 5%. So I guess, you know, if we had this discussion before we came on, Mark, when everyone's zigging you, zag, and these are the sorts of opportunities that come up where, you know, you're in a tightly held area, Northern Beaches, you're looking for an investment property, you go and buy in these conditions, you know, you're not going up against 3, 4, 5 other buyers because everyone's thinking and umming with all the news that comes out, having the discussions, not ready to make a move. So it's generally those people that, you know, get on and, like you said, get going and purchase. Exactly what Brendan said there. Yep, get on, get going. So yeah, I find it as a massive opportunity at these points to pick up some really good property in a less competitive market. So it's exactly about noticing the opportunity and not all the doom and gloom, Mark.
And look, you know, I look at my life and how and what's imposed, you know, with what's happening around the world and what's happening domestically. What the hell can I do about it? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, am I really going to make a change by, you know, going out and marching in the streets about interest rates? Like, at the end of the day, what I can really do about it is just get on to is go back to my core business and make a difference hour by hour, day by day. Just move on. Do you know what I mean? Just do what we've got. Just do what I do best, and sort of come out the other end. And, you know, don't get, I'm probably a little bit more biased because I'm down the track after 30 years of business. Do you know what I mean? So you've seen all those rate, you know, you've seen the theater, you've seen it, you know, when it bleeds, it reads, and you've seen all that stuff that goes on. It's like, you just got to, you just got to grit your teeth and just get down and move on with it. So, you know, I know it's great, you know, when I'm seeing the media and everyone's going, oh my God, this is terrible. And then you watch the television and go, oh my God, this is terrible. And then you tell your wife, you go, oh my God, this is terrible. They're like, what a waste of time. What a waste. And then you ring up the phone, the first conversation you have with your mate about interest rates. What a waste of time. Just get on with getting on.
Yeah.
You got my point, everyone?
And it'll be one of those conversations where they might have been looking at purchasing that property, going, oh, hang on, let's hold off. Let's see what happens. And then they look back in 2 years' time and that property's resold for a hefty profit. But yeah, you know, it's all about in these times making sure your money's working for you and in the right areas. And there's nothing stronger than property, guys. So I think it's money well invested. It's good loans, which you don't think loans are good, but when it's tied to a property, you can't get any better. So I think really the hit today, Mark, is like you said, don't read in too much to the headlines. Just work with what's in front of you and keep moving on. And it's compared to history, this is a small blimp in terms of how big those interest rates have been in the past. So
it is, and me personally, I've got to work harder. I've got to be more focused. I've got higher interest rates now, so that's fine. Do you know what I mean? So that you go through, then I look at the fact that I had 2.5% interest rates. Well, was great as well. You could take an average.
Exactly. Yeah. Well put. Well, lovely. Did you want to add anything else in on that, Mark, or we think we've touched everything?
No, did you like my new voice for this?
I'll give you a rest. You've done really
It
well.
was good,
Ed,
eh?
Yeah, very well, very well.
I feel it's a bit tougher.
I think so too. Inspirational chat this morning.
Yeah.
Guys, I just think a big thing, these are great buying opportunities. You've worked hard, you got the money, find these opportunities while the market's humming and ahhing. I know that's what I'm doing personally. So that would be my take from it all is zig when everyone else zags, and in these times of doubt, be the one with the strength and conviction to buy. But yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. 4.1% rate rises, but impacts on the market. It'll be funny. It'll look like this now, and I bet you we were looking at a completely different market in 4 to 6 weeks. It's quite like that at the moment, isn't it?
Well, that's right. If you go back on any of the stuff that we've recorded and put out there, and you go back and look at what we're guessing in the market, even through COVID, it was awful times. But it was like, the people that pivoted, the people that changed themselves because they could, not everything around them. The people that doubled down on stuff that worked, they did extraordinarily well through those hard times. And I'm not taking away that it's hard times for people with rates that have gone up after 14 times. I get that, but we just got to just push on and get shit done. And yeah, that's it's quite nice that when everyone runs, you're the last man standing. There's good benefits for that. So I think there's a couple of people with these rate rises are going to scurry. And then I think there's good buying there. So you may find that the next 6 to 12 months is extraordinarily good buying for people.
Definitely. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks, Mark, for this morning. Till next time.
Oh, look, we've got someone. We've got someone really important. Yeah.
It went up, guys. Great point. DY 13%, Manly Vale 11% units. So you're exactly right, Lisa. They're
she's so smart.
When the price of your coffee goes up, so does your property, guys. It's all relevant. So exactly right there, Lisa.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks.
See you guys.